Hello everyone, this is Mr. Santoro, and this is the last of the factoring review lesson screencasts. So this one is factor by grouping. So what I'm starting you out with is a polynomial that has 4 terms. So when you've got something with 4 terms like that, you group the terms that have a common factors in them, like x cubed and x squared. Then you factor out the GCF from each binomial. Now what might help is if you draw a line straight down right here after the second term before the sign, whether the sign is plus or minus, but draw a straight line right there. Okay, so it divides it into 2 problems really. So on the left side, the greatest common factor is x squared. When you factor that out, it leaves you with x plus 5. On the right side, what you have in the parentheses has to agree with what's on the left. So that helps you figure out what to factor out on the right side of the problem. So on the right side, you factor out a 3, and you're left with x plus 5. Then you factor out the common factor there, which is x plus 5. And when you do, you're left with x squared plus 3x. So at each step here, at each level, we're factoring out the greatest common factor. You can check it by multiplying them back, and if you do, you will get the original expression 3x squared, x cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x plus 15. So now let me give you a practice problem for you guys to do. I already grouped them for you. So if you were to draw a straight line here right after the x cubed and before the minus sign, right there, that would help. So pause the video now and give that a try on your own, and when you're ready, come back and I'll go through the solution. So if we split the problem in half, the greatest common factor is x cubed, and on the left side, when you factor out the x cubed, you're left with x plus 2 in the parentheses. So on the right side, we know we need an x plus 2. But this is a minus 5x and a minus 10, but if you factor out the negative 5, you wind up with x plus 2. So then at this level, our greatest common factor on both sides is x plus 2, and you factor that out, and your other factor is 3x cubed minus 5. So this is factor by grouping when you've got 4 terms. Now let's look at factor by grouping when you have a 3-term, a trinomial, a quadratic trinomial typically, that doesn't appear to be able to be factored. So we need to identify the a, b, and c terms. The a term is 8. It's the term in front of the x squared. The b term, in this case, is 26. It's the term in front of the x. And c is the constant, in which case the term without a variable with it. So the first step says you multiply the a term, in this case it's 8, by the c term, which is 15, and you get 120. So now we need to find 2 numbers that multiply to 120 but add to 26. Those 2 numbers are 20 and 6. So we take this 26x and we replace it with 20x plus 6x. 20x plus 6x is 26x, but by replacing that, it now allows us to divide the problem in half again, right after this 20x. To the left side, the greatest common factor is 4x. It leaves you with 2x plus 5. On the right side, the greatest common factor is 3, leaving you with 2x plus 5. So at this last level, when you factor out the greatest common factor of 2x plus 5, you're left with 4x plus 3, and there are your 2 binomial factors. So let's take a look at, I have 2 example problems here. So let's do the first one together. It's 3x squared plus 10x plus 8. The a term is 3, the b term is 10, the c term is 8. The directions say to multiply a times c, so 3 times 8 is 24. So now we're looking for 2 positive numbers that multiply to give you 24 but add to 10. Those 2 numbers are 6 and 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 times 4 is 24. So I group them this way. The 3 and the 6 share a common factor. The 4 and the 8 share a common factor. So you can group them that way. So now, again, if we divide this problem in half right here after the 6x, the greatest common factor to the left is 3x, leaves you with x plus 2 in the parentheses. The greatest common factor on the right is 4. You factor that, it leaves you with x plus 2. At this level of our problem, the greatest common factor is x plus 2, so you factor that out and it leaves you with 3x plus 4. So there are the two factors for this. So use the directions. I printed them out for you. And try problem number 2 on your own. Pause the video and come back and we'll go through the solution to that. Well, welcome back. So let me take you through the solution. Step 1 is multiply a times c. A is 6, c is negative 12. That's negative 72. So we're looking for two numbers, a negative and a positive, to multiply to negative 72 and add to negative 1. Well, 9 times 8 is 72, and in this case the factors are, we're going to replace the negative x with negative 9 plus 8. Negative 9 plus 8 is negative 1, so we can substitute that. Again, draw the line right after the 9x. And on the left side, you're going to factor out the greatest common factor of 3x. Leaves you with 2x minus 3. On the right side, we're going to factor out the greatest common factor of 4. And that leaves you with 2x minus 3. When you factor out the greatest common factor at this level of the problem, it's 2x plus 3. And when you factor that out, it leaves you with 3x plus 4. So take a look at this again if you need to. Replay the screencast. And in class, we'll be reviewing this and then doing some practice problems. So thank you for tuning in to the last of the factoring review lessons.